What's up everybody? I hope you're having an awesome day. Today I'm going to be talking lifestyle shoes. A lifestyle shoe that is based on an absolutely classic design, and it's the Nike Waffle 1. If you get anything out of the video today, which I really hope you do, make sure you smash that like button. Help support the channel by subscribing if you haven't done so already, and comment down below if you've got anything to say. I've also got an Instagram page. Head on over there, give us a follow. It's 3 kicks a day, just like the YouTube channel. There you're going to find a bunch of shoe photos. Yeah, that's what you'll find. So the Waffle 1, this is an all-new shoe by Nike. It's not a recreation of a previous shoe or a retro of something that was released many years ago. It absolutely belongs to that Waffle family. You can see that in its design and obviously in the outsole, but it is an all-new design that's really capitalizing on the popularity of retro-inspired shoes and the Sacai collaboration on that Waffle sneaker. That just goes gangbusters. I mean, I've never had any luck getting a pair, but that's just me. A bit of history on the Waffle sneaker itself. It's actually a performance shoe in its origin. We all know that Nike started off as Blue Ribbon Sports. Well, maybe we don't all know that, but if you didn't know, now you do. The company was founded by Bill Bowerman and his student Phil Knight. In 1971, Bill Bowerman was sitting down having breakfast with his wife while they were talking about general track-related stuff. I don't know exactly, I wasn't there, but this is how the story goes. At the time, he was trying to develop a shoe that would be both lightweight and fast, but replace that typical spike design found in track and field shoes at the time. I think the main reason for that was this transition to artificial surfaces. His wife at the time was making breakfast on a waffle iron. That is where Bill Bowerman got the idea that the waffle pattern created by whatever it is she was making would actually translate really well to a shoe's outsole. It would be durable and lightweight and be a perfect replacement, I guess, for the spikes that were typically in track and field running shoes. Then in 1974, well after Blue Ribbon Sports became Nike, Nike released its first running shoe, I guess, with a waffle outsole, and that was called the Waffle Trainer. Nike, I guess, have never looked back, and the waffle outsole, or that pattern, is still used today in performance running shoes. Its application here in the Waffle 1 is a lifestyle shoe, so it's not really geared at being a running shoe. I certainly wouldn't recommend running in this shoe. You'd have sore feet if you did it, but having said that, you could run in anything. The other morning I saw a guy running in a pair of Vans Old Schools. Don't ask me how, it happens. Back to this shoe. Before we break this shoe down and talk about the materials, the colors, the fit and how they look on feet, as far as sizing goes, I would recommend going a half size down if you can. I purchased these in stores, and at my end of the sizing spectrum, I know I've said this a few times, but it's still worthwhile giving you the background. There's very rarely a 12.5 available in stores. So I tried on the 13 and found that the shoe fit a little bit long. I also tried on the 12, but another thing to note is that the shoe fits quite tight around the midfoot. So unfortunately, while the 12 had a good length on it, the tightness around the midfoot really made it uncomfortable. So I ended up with the 13, which is fine, but I've got a little bit of extra room than I would otherwise like in the forefoot, I guess. If you are purchasing a pair and not able to try them on in store, I would recommend going down half a size. But if you want to stay safe and buy a size that's true to your fit, make sure you've got like a good returns policy so you're able to return the shoes if you're not quite happy with how they fit. Now let's break the shoe down, starting with the outsole. And what we've got is, surprise, surprise, a Waffle outsole. It's full coverage rubber and in black. As far as all of the colorways for men go, they are all a black outsole. The only chance you'll have to change the color of the outsole is if you take up the buy you option. The buy you option gives you heaps of customization options, basically lets you change every single part of the sneaker itself. But there is a bit of a hefty premium on being able to do that. These retail for about 150 Australian dollars, or if you want to go the buy you option, if you want to go the buy you model, that'll set you back 190 here in Australia. So if you don't like any of the colorways but dig the silhouette, you can go that route. Just be aware that there's a pretty hefty premium on that. Let's get back to the outsole. And the lugs are fairly deep, but it works well. It looks good. And it just does what it needs to do. Moving into the midsole, and what we've got is a classically shaped midsole. In this colorway, it is not white, but I would say cream, and it looks really good and feels comfortable on foot. I can't find out a whole bunch of information about what exactly the material is that is in this midsole, but from what I understand, it's a double stacked foam. I don't know what that means exactly, because, I mean, let's face it, that could mean a lot of different things depending on what material is used in the foam. But in simple terms, it's comfortable and awesome for everyday wear. And I think that's great. Moving into the upper, and regardless of which colorway you end up selecting, if you purchase a pair of Waffle ones, you will always get this material mix in the upper. I picked this fuchsia, pinky, black and yellow, almost purpley type of color combo, only because I liked the way they looked on feet. But I also tried the lighter color as well. I'm not quite sure what it's called. I'm not sure what any of them are called actually, but that looked great as well. It just depends on what kind of look you're trying to get with your Waffle one. But what's good about the colorways that are available now, in Australia at least, is that there's something for everyone. There's those lighter tones, and then there's something that's a little bit more dark and colorful. Now with the materials that have been used in this guy, you've basically got a translucent mesh that dons a bulk of the upper. If you think about the upper basically being a translucent mesh, then on top of that you've got some suede overlays that wrap around the toe cap up until about the midfoot. Then you've got the eye stays done in a suede, and you've got a suede overlay that wraps around the heel counter. What you also have around the heel to give a little bit of stability is this really interesting this really interestingly shaped TPU plastic heel clip. I think it looks good and also works well in giving something as flimsy as this upper is, not flimsy in a bad way, just the nature of the way the material is, a little bit more structure around that heel area. The upper is very much true to its racer origins. You are not getting any padding on either the heel collar or the tongue. The tongue itself is attached at the bottom of the eye stays and not gusseted here in the midfoot. It's comfortable for everyday wear, and if you're wearing the right sort of sock wear, I don't think you would have any issues. In fact, I don't even think you'd have any issues if you weren't wearing any socks. Maybe if you wore them for a long time, but that's another thing. And the swoosh on both sides of the sneaker are finished in a leather. No more talking, let's take a look at how they look on feet. there you have it, guys. That's my look at the Nike Waffle 1. I think it's a sneaker that hits the mark on a lot of different levels. It's not overdone, it's comfortable, it's light, and it really capitalizes on the popularity of retro sneakers. I think it stayed true to its Waffle origins as well, and the price point is great. Like I said earlier, it's 150 Australian dollars at retail, and that just makes it a really accessible sneaker that you could probably wear with everything. I really haven't worn them long enough to assess whether or not they're going to be comfortable all day, but given the translucent mesh and the comfortable midsole, I think that you're onto a winner with this. There is only one caveat, and that's for people that really like some padding around the heel. This has close to none. And be aware of some of the sizing comments as well. So if you are purchasing this and are concerned about sizing, I'd absolutely recommend going into store and trying them on. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Have you got a pair of the Waffle 1s? Are you looking at them? What do you think of them? Leave a comment down below. But until the next video, laters.